Hey, what's up? I look a hot mess. I always look a hot mess. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something, and this is like a rant. My PSAs are rants that they come from me. They come from my heart. So it's nothing planned. It's nothing prepared. It's just me when something just hits me. Like I decided to just start speaking about certain things amongst. I like celebrity bullshit and I like shits and giggles and reality shows and like I pay attention to. I'm paying attention to everything. Certain things is just like they hit from the heart, and that's when I just feel like speaking. And I speak a lot on my Facebook and my IG, and it's just like I said, it's just coming from me, right? These past incidents, and I'm calling them incidents because certain verbiage I cannot use, right? So I mean, I'm like restricted on my platforms for speaking out, but I've been restricted for over a year, so it's hard for me to use certain verbiage in certain language because when I go to send, it won't. I get a little warning shot that I cannot do it. So, and I've been restricted. I have not been able to go. I can't go live on none of my platforms, and certain things that I do, like sometimes they don't get uploaded. I get a warning shot, and I'm still on restriction for like a year because I speak out a lot about a lot of stuff. Period. Like I feel like silence is complacency. I feel like, we all have this Wi-Fi and we can all start speaking out about stuff and that we should. You know what I'm saying? This right now, so I'm going to use certain words. These past two incidences, literally, that happened, right? Texas and Buffalo. Buffalo is racially motivated. We understand that. That's a completely different mental, I want to say DISCASC. I'm very anti-racism, very anti-colorist, very anti-phobia. I'm very anti. That's why I think I get restricted because I actually speak out about it. I speak out about those things. Now, as a New Yorker, I use certain verbiage. We curse a lot. Okay, we do. It's not becoming of us women. It makes our New York City men look like they finna rob you everywhere they go. It's just the way we talk. We curse. We fuss. My language is very colorful, and I probably should not come online when I'm in a state of emotion about the things that I am anti. Because when I'm in my bag about something, that's when the words come out that I should not be using. So, that being said, right? That's a whole other monster that we did. Racism is a whole monster that we're dealing with, right? As a society. The people most highly affected are black men and women. As a Latina, I'm not the only one. I'm one of many millions of people who recognize that and believe in silence and being complacency and are speaking out, and we we're taking the side of black men and women, and we speak out, and all of that. So when I say we, I mean we as a collective, because we are at a point right now where it is racist versus non-racist. Because to me, right now, you can't be prejudiced, racist, and be in my company. No, you cannot. I don't give a fuck how many years I know you. If I find out that you have that mindset, I'm cutting you out of my life, because I don't respect that shit. And I don't respect you for feeling that way. Because I don't respect racist or prejudiced people. I just don't. I find it inhuman. This is why things like these incidents are happening, because you continue to support or just stay silent, or whatever it is. We're either adding to it, or in some way, shape, or form, we're adding to it. Okay, by not saying something, you're adding to it. Certain people you vote for, you're adding to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're not the type of person that want to speak out, that's fine, but don't add to it. You understand what I'm saying? On the flipping side with this kid, and I'm not excusing him, because I'm one of them people that, listen, I don't care. I said it a million times. As a Latina, if you have a RIFLE and you running up in a school and I am an officer, you can talk to me in Spanish all you want. I'm taking you down. If I got a good HOT, I'm discharging mines. I'm not talking about fuck if you're Puerto Rican like me, and that shit don't mean nothing to me. I'm a mother. I'm a human. You look what the fuck you doing. I'm not negotiating with you. This ain't a movie, motherfucker. I look like motherfucking Angelina Jolie up in this bitch. This ain't a movie scene. I'm gonna take you out if I can. if I'm that officer. You understand? I don't care. But this is like the umpteenth time we see a teenage boy specifically, whether it's racially motivated or not, or motivated by anti-LGBTQ, you know, that type of hatred, whatever it is, being bullied, whatever it is, there's no outlets for boys. I'm gonna give y'all the most perfect example, and this is horrific because I feel like men and women should be treated the same in this specific space. But look, as a woman grown up, you can say at 7 years old, my stepfather, and the world will say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But when a man says it, he gets called the F word, he gets called out his name, he's shamed, he's embarrassed, he's spoken over so badly. And it's like, how you don't understand that he was 7, and at 7 he could not overpower his stepfather or his uncle or, in some cases, own biological father or grandfather. He couldn't fight that man on. He was 7 fucking years old. But you have so many men that's happened to that can't say it. You have men who grew up in households where their dads BEAT them and their own mothers, because they have a husband who's BEATing them, who's BEATing the kids. They don't leave. They start, you know, drinking, and then they start mistreating the child. I'm actually pulling from an example from somebody specific. I'm not going to mention no names because I'm going to post this on my social media because I can't post up videos. I'm not going to mention no names. But I know somebody who grew up with their mother telling them, mother being an alcoholic, and telling them, I should have ABORT'd you. And she did really, really fucked up things to him and his brothers. Like, really bad fucked up things to him and his brothers. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but they grew up in a household where both their mother and their father was volatile. So I know this dude who, he doesn't really respect people like that. He has zero respect for women. He's just always rough ride. He's always ready for whatever. He's been in and out of jail all his life. He's very, very, and I know most of the guys I know been in and out of jail for different circumstances and different reasons, but he's like really violent. Like, he's a really violent person. And when I learned that about his childhood, I started looking at him differently. Like, he's still who he is, but I understand why he is how he is. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, but he's the type of person that he took out his aggression in the streets, in and out of jail, JUMPing people, FIGing people, all type of shit. DV on women, putting his hands on women. You understand what I'm saying? It's so many people that, because of the way they grew up, this is how the behavior they exhibit. But on the flipping side, you also have people who are mousy, who are very quiet, who they're not scrappers. Whatever they went through in life, you know what I'm saying? They're mousy. They're not really gonna say nothing. So when they do finally say something, when it's a woman, they're treated differently and the conversation's different. But when it's a man, or you pussy, you a punk, you a bitch boy, you soft, you this, you that. Saying that to a grown-ass man is one thing, and it can still affect them. But when you 14, 15, and you reaching out to somebody trying to complain about your moms or your stepfather or what you're going through in school, and you're not really a rough young man, and you're not a scrapper, you're not a fighter. Okay, look, he is pussy. By standard definition. That kid is like a volcano with shit inside, and while 9 out of 10 will continue to be mousy, will continue to be men who, let's face it, they don't defend themselves, they don't really have backbone. I understand that. But you get the ones like this kid, or like that guy on the freeway. Remember the freeway, SHORO? Y'all know the word I'm trying to spell. His manifesto, remember, it was him and his son running around. He went through a lot of shit, but nobody gave a fuck because he was an immigrant. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna, you know, depending on who's the person with the RIFLE in their hand, it's a different conversation. They're mentally messed up if they're a part of a certain race, while if they're part of another race, this is just who they are. While if they're part of another race, this is why we need to, you know, it's always an excuse. It goes with the image of the person. Let's be real. But I'm just using him as an example because he went through a lot of shit in his childhood too. and didn't say anything. That's why it was so easy for his father, I think it was his father or stepfather, no, it was his biological father. It was so easy to convince him. It was two of them. It was so easy to convince them. I like reading the manifestos. I do I like reading them. I don't know why I like reading them, but I just do. It's a lot of young men who know it's not okay. You're not the only one that's been bullied. You're not the only one that comes from a fucked up household. There's a lot of people. It's a lot of women that were as little girls. And you don't see them running around in malls and in churches and discharging. It's a lot of men that have been through some wild shit as little boys. And they're not running around like that. But just because the majority aren't, don't mean that you can't wind up with a kid like these two. And I understand one was racially motivated, but I'm just saying, all of these MSSS, SHOO teens by all these teenage boys and shit, it's like, what the fuck? And then the parents like, oh, he's quiet, oh, he's this, he's that. Maybe you're not noticing, because with boys, it's like, oh, he's in the game, or oh, he's in the basketball court, or oh, it's not a big deal. You know, boys ain't as sensitive as girls. It's not that boys cannot be as sensitive as girls, it's that we don't allow them to be. So you have a lot of them that are just holding a lot of shit in, and shit like this happens. And again, I'm not excusing. I don't hold these police officers for taking him out. I hold them for not taking the other boy out. But y'all already know what that's about. That's how I feel. If you disagree, that's on you. I feel his race has a lot to do with it. I feel they both should have got taken out. But I also feel at some point, before they hit 18, somebody should have noticed something about these kids and should have put them in counseling. They needed to be counseled. Boys need counseling too. Boys need TLC too. Boys, it's okay for them to cry. We're raising them that it's not. And then we wonder why men are so rough. We raise boys that if they fall and they hurt themselves, they need to stop crying. And then 20 years later, we wonder why men can't cry. We teach boys when they speak out about something that's you complaining like a little girl. And 30 years later, his wife complains he's not communicative. We need to do a little bit more better with supplying outlets for boys and not calling them out their name when they expressing their pains, their ills, their sensitivities. We need to do a little bit more better with that, y'all. Anyway, I just wanted to say that real quick because I done made this video 5 times. Yo, I'm Lady Chatterley. I talk a lot. I really do. I turned myself off. So I came to turn y'all off a little bit too. But, yeah. I could go on and on, but this is going to be so long and I don't really want to make it long. I just want to say we need to be a little bit more open and receptive to being more open and receptive to boys being more sensitive and being able to talk to us about what the fuck is going on with them. For real. Anyway, bye. I got to cook for my kids.